Hi all, welcome back to my channel Learn with Girish. So this is the today's agenda for this session. So we'll start with looking at how do we consume Azure OpenAI models using LangChain. Then we'll look at what are agents and when do we use these agents. In this, we'll look at a pattern called as ReAct, which stands for reasoning plus action, or also called as miracle system. So here I have provided some of the links which we will go through in the session. And then we will look at different agent types which we can use. So we will look at some of the examples of these in our notebooks. So with that, let's start the session. First, let's look at how do we consume these Azure OpenAI models using LangChain. So for that, I'll first install Azure OpenAI package, and then I will set a few environment variables for my Azure OpenAI service. If you are new to Azure OpenAI service, you can look at my previous videos. I will provide the link in the description box. There I have explained how to deploy OpenAI models to Azure. You can refer that one. Then I will install LangChain library, and then I will create an instance of Azure OpenAI service passing my deployment name and the model name. And then I can start interacting with the model by asking questions to it. Here I'm asking the model to tell a joke. So this is what it provides. Now, before looking at the agents, let's look at a pattern called ReAct. So this combines both the reasoning and the action part in large language models. So usually these large language models works very well in two different modes. One of the mode we can think of it as reasoning mode, wherein when you submit a query, the model will generate a series of intermediate answers to arrive at the final result. So this is also called as a chain of thought. And the other mode being the action mode, wherein the model based on certain observation will take actions. So what this ReAct does is it will combine both the reasoning and actions. So whenever you submit a query to this model, it will first reason and take action based on the reason, and then do observation and continue doing reasoning and taking action until a final result is arrived. So this is what they are explaining in this article, wherein they are combining the chain of thought and action plan generation. And this we are doing so that we can reduce hallucination and ground the model with the proper results. So with this method, they have also found that with ReAct prompting, we get very good results when compared to other prompting mechanisms like the standard prompting or the reason only or the act only prompting. Now let's take a look at the agents. So you can think of these as the tools which will implement the ReAct pattern. So based on the user input, these agents will have access to a suite of tools, and based on the user input, these agents will decide whether to use those tools or not. So for that, LangChain provides different APIs. So one of them is the tools which is to interact with other resources, the agents which will drives the decision making, and then we have agent executor which will use the logic for running agents with tools. So this will be more clear when we see the examples. Now let's look at the different agent types. Zero shot ReAct being the most common one. We'll see an example of this one. And then we have OpenAI functions, where the model itself are explicitly fine-tuned so that they detect when a function should be called. And then we have types like self ask with search, which will basically do a Google search. And then we have React document store, for which we need to provide tools to do a search and a lookup. And also, if you want to create your own agent, you can look at the custom LLM agent section. And with that, let's go back to the notebook and see the further commands. So one of the problems LLMs are it does not do the math problem properly. So here I'm giving a problem over here, the math problem, and I am not able to see the proper results. So this is where we are using the agents. So here I'm importing the load tools from the LangChain agents, and then providing the LLM math tool, and then initializing the agent, where the agent type is zero shot React description, and also here I'm providing the tool to use. And based on this, when I give the same math problem, I'm able to see the results. And one thing to note here, it has done an action and provided the observation, and there is no thought as such. So basically, it's doing the act part of the React, and not doing any reasoning. And then it says the final answer is this one. So we will see another example here for the search API. So here I will install the Google search results package, and then here I will create a search API wrapper, and then pass the search API key, and create this tool with the name, the function, and the description, and then initialize the agent, provide the search tool, and here I'm specifying the agent type as self ask with search, and then I'm asking this particular question: who lived longer, Plato, Socrates, or Aristotle? Then if you see here, it's looking for how each of these persons age is, and provides this intermediate answer. And based on this intermediate answer, it's providing the final answer is Plato. So here what we see is the reasoning part. Based on the reasoning intermediate answers, it's providing the final answer. So in the final example, here we will see both the reasoning and the action part. So here I'm installing a Wikipedia package, and then creating a tools, wherein I am providing both the search tool and the lookup tool, which does the search and lookup in Wikipedia, and then creating this initialize agent, and the type over here is React doc store, and then I'm asking this question: who invented a light bulb and when he was born? So if you see here, we have the thought part, which is the reasoning part, and then it will take an action, uh, and then do an observation. So here we are able to see all the steps of the React, and finally, after doing all this, it will provide the answer, like the person invented the bulb, and the date when he was born. I hope this short video was helpful, and stay tuned for more videos like this. Thank you.